My recent trip to Jerusalem really got me thinking about the biblical stories I learned as a kid, many of which I still cherish deeply.
Oh my god, it's so good. In today's video, we're cyberbullying a atheist YouTuber named Genetically Modified Skeptic, who released a video called Why I Love Jesus But Won't Follow Him. I think you can already tell from the title of the video that it's going to be retarded, but let's jump into it. We're not even 10 seconds into the video, and he's already masked off instantly.
When I stopped believing in God several years ago, I wanted to distance myself from Christianity and find myself apart from its influence. I'm glad that I did that, as it was the right thing for me to do at the time.
We don't even have to give you guys commentary. Just look at this screen. Just look at this guy. Tiny Bugman, tiny neck, tiny strangleable neck. Daredevil, Captain Marvel, Black Panther.
Little stubble. He doesn't have enough testosterone to muster up an actual beard.
And then this is him now, and he looks so much more unhealthy, so much, like, sicker. You know, ever since he took that trip to Jerusalem, you know, something just changed about him.
I can now engage with Christian ideas without having them forced on me or associating them primarily with Christians who have used scripture to abusively control me. Now that I'm in this state, I've found studying the Bible critically to be one of my favorite pastimes. Through this study, I've realized that, surprisingly, I still find myself rather enamored by many of the biblical ideas I learned as a child.
Everything about this is like plastic. Like our videos, you get the raw emotion.
Real niggas. We're real niggas.
You get the raw emotion. You get the raw memes, okay? None of this is scripted. But this guy, it's like he's smiling on cue. His body language is very stiff.
Something I noticed as I came to better understand earning money on YouTube was that videos that include mockery, stoke internet flame wars, or create overly inflated moral outrage against a specific person or group are definitely the most profitable for tons of creators on the platform across genres. They're easy to make, they drive tons of engagement, and somehow give the viewer the impression that the creator making the video is some kind of moral beacon, a white knight who crusades against evil. This strategy, provoking outrage for profit, is how many popular social commentators and even politicians really make their living, and it's incredibly harmful. Once I understood that, I realized that I was at a crossroads. I could stir outrage in my audience, severely hurt this discourse, and make enough money to do something crazy, like buy a house in Austin, Texas. Or I could stick to my original goals of making helpful, informative videos and be content with the money I could make ethically. I did my best to choose the latter course of action.
I wonder why he cares about
being morally
ethics,
accountable.
Why does he care about ethics, you know? You know, this guy talked about in this video how, like, Christianity was used to abuse him and it was forced upon him, and he was basically forced to abide by, you know, these rules from this religion. And even after he's deconverted from the religion, for some reason, he's unable to break the mental chains of this religion. He says that breaking away from Christianity is freedom, but yet he still follows Christianity to a large extent.
Biblical values which I was taught as a kid have become all the more precious to me considering. The love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. One cannot serve God and money. Of course, I don't actually believe in the existence of gods, so when I read this, I take it more as one cannot conduct oneself ethically while making money their highest priority. Further, Jesus' parable about the Good Samaritan is deeply meaningful.
We just love it. We just love it. It's not about being ethical. Christianity is not about that. Christianity is about trying to reconcile our relationship with God after we have totally ruined it. So this guy takes like these like verses that have like deep meaning. He just bugsmans it. He just bugmans it, man. And it's like so sickening. It just makes you like want to shoot yourself. What's kind of funny is he like, this guy kind of looks like he had potential, like he had the potential to be based and like red-pilled. He has a genetic potential, but he's totally squandered that in the pursuit of like intellectualism and the pursuit of some fat girl. He fell in love with a fat pot-smoking chick, and he just gave up all of his morality.
And you can tell he's trying very, very, very hard to put out this appearance of, I'm an upright guy, I'm a clean guy, I'm a saint, I've never done anything wrong.
He is afraid that when he makes this video, you're gonna look into his eyes and you're gonna see what's inside those eyes.
His charge to care for the poor, even at the expense of the rich, is an idea which I carry into my politics. Moral lessons which I originally learned as a child through the teachings of Jesus still greatly impact my thoughts and actions today. Certain careful viewers of mine have noticed this and left comments asking a valid question. Why then, Drew, don't you consider yourself a Christian?
Yeah,
this comment isn't
question.
meant to ask why I don't believe in the supernatural elements of Christianity. If you're interested in hearing about that, I do have other videos addressing that. The question asks, rather, why I don't consider myself a follower of Jesus, the man, given that I hold dear many of his teachings, as well as those from the Hebrew wisdom literature which he so often drew upon. Now, if we're talking about the historical man Jesus here, I must conceptualize him as credible historians do. An inextricable feature of Jesus' character was his preaching of apocalypticism. This was the view that evil spiritual forces such as demons and principalities had taken over the world, causing all the suffering we experience and all the wrongdoing humans commit. Any day now, though, God was to come to earth, drive out these evil forces, judge the righteous and unrighteous, and establish his utopian kingdom on earth. Keep this in mind as I'll reference this idea throughout the video. Evil forces are not to blame. The first reason I'll give for not following Jesus is that I don't believe that suffering or wrongdoing are a result of evil, much less spiritual forces. Behind all—
What? So he just said that evil is not to blame for evil. What?
He basically just said, if you murder somebody, that's not evil.
We'll give him a chance. We'll give him a chance to speak, but man, oh man, that's, I'm about to be on the floor after hearing that one.
all experiences which we'd call suffering is a nervous system. This is just a part of our biology which evolved to help us survive. Damaging various body parts, breaking social ties, and losing members of our tribe can lessen our chances of survival, so organisms which reacted in ways which caused them to avoid these things were naturally selected for. We are the descendants of these organisms.
Of these organisms.
Suffering—
Think about how, like, dark that is. You know, it's interesting that when he first became an atheist, there was kind of this brightness, this youth, this vigor, and the way he presents his videos. Whereas now everything's so dark and he looks sick,
And
you know?
artificial.
And he's taking these trips to Jerusalem and all this. The way he speaks, I bet you, is a lot more artificial. And you can tell the reason behind this just based on the things that he's saying. When he started out, he was so much closer connected to Jesus, to Christianity, and he had this light in his life. Even though he was fighting against it, he still had this light in his life, this spiritual light in him, pointing him, pulling him towards Christianity. Now that he's, you know, indoctrinated himself into the satanic literature, into the magic books, he's just like so dark. He doesn't believe anymore that like we're made in the image of God or that like life is important. He's just like, there is no evil and suffering is just the result of the organisms that made us. Organisms. Yeah, we're just the descendants of organisms, you know, we're just organisms. Like, and that's just so dark. It's like you look at other people and you don't see them as like a human being with a soul that has like an inner life, an inner life inside their heart and inside their mind. You just look at them and you're like, they're organisms. You see them as organisms. You don't see them as real. And that's probably how he sees himself too, you know? That big Adam's apple going out of his neck, man. It's so sick. This is so sick. This ain't right. This is darkness, man. This is darkness.
is little more than an evolved response to a universe indifferent to us.
Look into his eyes.
Look into his eyes.
Look into his eyes as he says this. It's nothing but an evolved response to a universe that is completely indifferent to us.
And he's putting on this show like nothing's wrong with what he's saying. Like he isn't saying the most depraved, darkest, most nihilistic, depressing thought ever.
Yeah, and he's smiling about that because he's dark. He's a dark person. This really is darkness, you know? Like this really is like satanic. Like there's all these people that are sympathetic to atheists and they think that these people are just like normal. But it's like these people are sickos and they're sick. Their worldview is this sick worldview you that when they look at you, they don't see you as a person. They see you as an object, as this organism. And you gotta think, why is it that they want, and why do they smile when they think about that, you know? Why was it so attractive to them, this idea that people are just organisms? And why was it so attractive that they left everything that their family ever held dear to chase this idea? And I feel like this whole thing about, everything's just an organism. You're just an organism. Everything's just an object, and the universe is indifferent to your suffering. It's like he wants to inflict suffering or something, you know? He has like these dark thoughts in his mind, and he does sick things looking at images of his friends online, and he's justifying it by saying they're just organisms. They're just organisms. This whole like, oh, well, I still hold on to some of the beliefs of Christianity. It's just like a cope to make him feel like he's still a good person. Why does he think that following Christianity is a good thing? Why does he care about ethics, you know? And I think the reason why his beliefs are contradictory is not because he's found this middle ground, but because he's a contradicted person. He's a torn person. There's a big chasm in his soul. On one hand, he wants to be a dark demonic person that just views people as organisms. But on the other hand, because of his upbringing, because of this Christian upbringing that he was given, he knows that's wrong and he wants to fight against it. But he's so addicted to this darkness, to this sick sexual stuff that I'm sure he's doing because, look at his girlfriend. Look at him.
It's not a result of evil or an intentional spiritual attack. I don't think spiritual forces must be invoked to explain actions we'd consider wrong either. Humans are perfectly capable of harming others on their own, but even still, I don't consider such actions evil or a result of a corrupted, immoral nature. People don't do harmful things just for the sake of harming others, but rather...
no, they don't do that. People don't just harm people for the sake of harming others. His worldview that people are just organisms makes it impossible for there to be evil and for people to do anything maliciously, because to him, the only morality is the will to power. The only morality is fight is right, rape is fine so long as I can get away with it. Murder is fine so long as I can get away with it. That's what these people believe. And this whole rationalization about others is really about himself. He wants to feel okay about the things that he's doing, make himself feel as though the reason why they do these things and the reason why he does these things is a moral reason, that it's not out of evil, it's not out of maliciousness, that nobody's malicious. People are just, always trying to chase for good and try to chase for, happiness, and that's all it's about. And there is no evil. There's no such thing as just wanting to tear someone down out of hate. There is no hate. Hate doesn't exist.
Either because they're in desperate need, ignorant of the consequences, fearful and defensive, or neurochemically imbalanced. Willful evil, whether it invokes spiritual beings or not, is a primitive myth that oversimplifies the complex psychosocial process behind antisocial behavior. For this reason, I strongly oppose retributive justice. Simply punishing those who harm others just creates more harm and doesn't address the actual root of the problem. This is the kind of justice which Jesus' teaching, whether taken as apocalyptic or not, invokes. In this view, wrongdoing comes from the corruption of one's nature, so justice can only be done if the wicked, the corrupt, are destroyed. Rehabilitation and restoration by natural means are therefore impossible.
I just love that. I love that he doesn't understand Christianity.
Let me go.
I have something important to say. I'm sorry. I apologize. Yeah. You can go. Keep it in your mind. Okay?
You're gonna say the exact same thing that I'm gonna say, but okay.
Are you gonna be talking about how Christ is there to rehabilitate us?
No, but
okay.
No,
so
okay, yeah, go off.
Okay. What he's talking about, this idea of that we have to destroy the evildoer, is the Old Testament. But Christianity is not about destroying the evildoer. Christianity is about rehabilitating the evildoer. That's literally what the whole religion is about. He's like, the problem with Christianity is that it's too mean. It doesn't give people a second chance. It's like this guy's never actually read the Bible. When I read the Bible, it is a beautiful story about sinners getting a second chance and being reborn as a righteous person through Jesus sacrificing himself selflessly for us. That's what the Bible is about. It's not about punishment. It's not about hell. It's about redemption. And the only way that you can redeem people truly is through Jesus Christ. Before I was a Christian, I've tried to help so many people through their issues. People that are addicted to drugs, no matter what, they always go back to their drugs. People that are addicted to sin, they always go back to their sin. There is no redemption. There is no change. There is no change in this life. There's literally a saying, people never change. It's impossible for us to do it on our own. But with God, everything is possible.
In my opinion, this view has caused one of the most significant injustices of our time, the mass incarceration of criminals entirely capable of rehabilitation. Millions of lives are destroyed because we refuse to put away the myth of willful evil. Regardless of the mercy and forgiveness he displays, Jesus' teaching rests firmly upon this ignorant view, and I simply cannot follow a person who teaches it.
I just have to wonder, what does he think about people that commit rape? Like, he's not really thinking, he's not thinking this through. I don't think he's thinking. And like I said, he's probably doing things that are inhibiting his thinking processes. So he thinks that rapists are doing that, are raping out of altruism. He thinks pedophiles are committing pedophilia out of altruism and love.
Narrative and identity above all else. Stories are excellent ways to teach moral lessons, as they're more captivating, emotive, and memorable than any alternative. As I said earlier, I learned many of the moral values I still cherish today by learning biblical stories. Now that I'm an adult and can reason for myself, though, I don't maintain those morals because I cherish those stories. I have deeper reasons for my moral values, which I came to on my own. In fact, the reasoning I've done on my own, moral and otherwise, has led me to stop cherishing many Christian stories. Jesus working miracles to show his power, his teachings about marriage, and his apocalyptic parables are a few examples. I've observed a pattern among religious people, conservative and liberal, traditional and progressive. Say someone develops a new value, like pacifism, vegetarianism, or affirmation of non-traditional gender identities. They then contextualize their new value within their religious view, saying that their new value naturally stems from their pre-existing religion. If a Christian, they might say, Jesus was a pacifist, or Jesus taught us to be compassionate, and I think that he would extend that to animals too. Or Jesus said that we should love everyone no matter what, so that means affirming queerness. I don't think this is necessarily a problem, and I wouldn't care to argue with someone who believes that their religion supports ideas I hold myself. However, I don't think that this contextualization, at least for myself, is necessary at all.
So basically, what he's saying is that Christianity is outdated, and the morality that like good is good and evil is evil is outdated, and he wants to basically tear apart our entire tradition and flip it upside down into this satanic worldview where like raping people is okay, and it's just, you know, there's no moral weight to it. Every single atheist, it's always that. Like, they probably want to rape someone. Like, I think the real lesson that we can take away from this video, these people put on this presentation, this present as though they're nice guys that just love everyone and want people to get along, and they want to, you know, push us to a more moral Christianity. They want to make Christianity more moral. But in reality, they aren't these good people. They aren't these people that want to make others' lives better. But these people are full of darkness, sick, twisted thoughts in their mind, and everything that they do, every one of these videos posted by Cosmic Skeptic, Genetically Modified Skeptic, Thunderfoot, Amazing Atheist, all these different people, it's not really about the fact that they think that Christianity's wrong or there's just not enough proof of it. It's really, they have something dark. They have darkness inside of them, and they want to reshape the world using propaganda like this video to make a world where they can let that darkness out and cause the suffering that they've always been dreaming of. So that's all. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Yo, what's poppin', people? Sorry, I'm a little late today. I'm about 10 minutes late. I'm not that late, but I'm a little late here. I'll be honest, okay? And I apologize. I was just on the phone with a good friend of the channel, Splat Rabbit Art, and we were talking a little bit. So, you guys, I love Splat Rabbit Art. I hear he's taking a hiatus from social media, so that is what it is. That kind of sucks because I loved his content and he's just given up on making content. But whatever. So we're back here and we're doing another Minecraft stream. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. We got 6 likes on the stream now, 6 viewers. Hopefully it goes up a little bit more. But I'm glad for you guys tuning in here tonight. So we're gonna be playing Minecraft. But yeah, I was having a little conversation with him because it's been a while since I talked to him. It's been a while. And it was good catching up with an old friend. So as we're playing Minecraft and we're playing the beta 1.73 mod called Better Than Adventure. Let me start the recording here. So we're playing Better Than Adventure here on Minecraft. It's been a while since we got into the Minecraft world. It's been since I quit, so it's been almost, I'd say, 3 months now, 3 months, give or take, since the last time we played Minecraft on stream together, guys. But we're back, and in the last stream we just made a nether portal here. And I said, oh, I'm gonna go through it, but actually, nope, we're waiting till the next stream. Well, the next stream's finally here, like 3 months later, we're finally here. And tell me if the game audio is good. I don't have the chat on screen. Let me pull up the chat on screen real quick here. Where's my phone? Where's the chat? Chat, where are you? Where are you, chat? We're so back. Oh, look, Splat Rabbit. He's in the chat right now. Let's go. Alright, so we're live, and we're going to play Minecraft. So we're going to step into the nether right now. Are you guys ready? I'm scared. I'm scared! The nether in this version is a lot different compared to how I normally know nether. This is around this version, obviously not on this mod, but this version is the version that I played Minecraft on as a little kid. This is what I remember the nether looking like when I first came into the nether. It was just this dark void. You could barely see anything, which kind of sucks for you guys on the stream chat because you guys probably can literally see nothing. Let me get over here to where it's a little brighter. Yeah, so it's just this big kind of... By the way, are we on peaceful mode? I don't see any ghasts. Normally in this version there would be like a million ghasts everywhere, but I guess not in this mod. But so it's just this big netherracky expanse. Of course, you'd have like the lava oceans going on down there. And there'd be ghasts everywhere and the zombie pigmen. And I see the pigmen, so I guess there must be ghasts somewhere. But we're just not aware of them. We're just not aware of them right now. And it's just dark, and it was actually like terrifying. But so there's this new ore here. I don't know what this is. What are you? This is called nether coal. I wonder what nether coal does. I'm assuming that's probably like some kind of fuel source, right? And then of course we have netherrack here, which is the shit that looks terrible, the worst looking block. Well, actually, no, I kind of like. It looks better in this version than it does in the modern versions. It's just cobblestone with blood on it. And then we got some glowstone here, and I will be taking... There's a ghast. What? He just shot something at me. There is a ghast who's just shot at me, guys. Alright, I'm getting my glowstone, and I'm getting out of here. I love glowstone. It's like my favorite lighting block from this version. We already got like a full stack. I don't know. I kind of want more. I'm kind of feeling greedy for more. I think the gas... Okay, no. No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm not going over there. I'm out. So that was our first foray into the nether. Wow. It's amazing. It's the middle of the night here. We should be getting back to spawn. Or I guess not to spawn, but to our home. So, how have you guys been doing in the chat? I want to like kind of have like a bit more of a connection with my chat. I want to kind of do on these Minecraft streams. All my streams, I'm kind of like trying to take a new direction. I kind of want to do a more of a... Oh shit, man. Holy fuck. Ah! Well, I kind of want to do more of a Q&A kind of thing with my streams. Where I kind of like read the chat and answer questions. So if you guys have anything you want to talk about, go ahead. I want to tell you guys about my day. And if you guys have anything interesting going on in your day, share it with me. You know, I'm interested to hear what's going on in the audience of New Esands, you know. But I've been doing a lot of construction work as of recent. I am not used to playing Minecraft, dude. I am so out of it. I'm so uncoordinated right now. Yo, the dog. I forget what we named you, but hi, dog. Hi. It's good to see you. But I've been doing a lot of construction work as of recent in my life. I've been building a chicken coop as of recent, which has been a lot of fun. I've gotten a lot out of it, you know, playing Minecraft in real life, you know, and I've really been learning, I guess like a lot of useful life skills out of doing that. I've learned how easy it is to build stuff, and I've also learned like a lot about, I've been applying a lot of the stuff that I learned about geometry in school into building this. I've also been doing construction. I've been adding an addition to my house in real life. This is all shit my mom's just like whipping me and like forcing me and slaving me into working for her like a slave, like I'm a black person or something. So that's what I've been up to recently in real life. My dog passed away recently, and that kind of sucked. She lived to be about 17, my childhood dog. And she died, I think it was 2 days ago now, I believe. That kind of sucked. But we're back. We're back. Weird day at work, says Splat Rabbit, but I had opportunities to share the gospel. So all glory to God. That's so based. Me personally, I don't really share the gospel in person too much. And I feel very bad about that. I feel very bad about that. But you know, to be honest, I'm kind of like I guess you would say I'm a shy, timid person. I'm a little autistic in real life. And I guess the reason for that is just because as a kid, you know, I was, you know, the internet kid. I was the kid that would be like using the computer all the time. I played Minecraft all the time as a kid. You know, like I didn't like, you know, spend a lot of time in real life. I had a lot of real life friends, but the real life friends that I did have were like, you know, like fucked up degenerates, you know, like people that would like steal and assault people and vandalize, you know. So I find that I have just like a hard time kind of socializing with people in general. So I haven't really had the chance to share the gospel in person too much. I do a little bit of evangelism in real life though. What I like to do, because I don't like talking to people, I'm very afraid of talking to people in real life. Like just strangers. It's different talking to someone you know, but I'm talking about like talking to strangers, you know. What I do is I buy on christianbook.com. There's these little tiny copies of the Gospel of John, and there's just like a little booklet. It's about like this tall. It's like real thin, because the Gospel of John's a short book, right? And you know, the Gospel of John is very clear on faith alone. It's very clear on the gospel, in a sense, what Jesus did for us. And so I just go and I leave those places. I leave them in like public areas and stores. I leave them. I recently left one, an airplane. But I just kind of leave them places and see if and hopefully, you know, people will read it, find it, and who knows if people have gotten saved through that. That's kind of what I do as far as evangelism IRL. The most evangelism that I do is through this channel and through my like other social media. So I don't know. But anyways, so we just came back from the nether. What does this coal do? Is this nether coal, is this like a substitute for coal? Do I cook with this? Yes, okay. And it seems like you can cook for a long time. So this is a really good fuel substitute. So I should probably get more of that. Alright, well, for right now, I will store my shit that I just grabbed in here so we don't like lose it. Bullshit chest. Do we have anything that goes in the bullshit chest? Yes, well, I can put that in there. Bullshit leather. There we go. Stone. Does netherrack count as stone? I guess it counts as stone. I'll put it in there. And of course we got some other kinds of stone. Sand, that I'll put that in the dirt chest with the dirt. And then wood. Do we have any wood? No. Nether coal in here. Do we have a mob drop chest? Guess that just goes in the bullshit chest for now. So let me see here. We have the centrifuge. So that's okay, so we can use the nether coal for that probably. So what I'm thinking for today as far as the Minecraft world goes, and I'll get back in the chat, but just to talk about what I want to do with this stream today, is we just went into the nether for the first time. And I have my nether portal over this way. I think it's right down here. I have my nether portal down here. And as you recall in the last stream, if you watched the last stream, it looks kind of shit. It looks like this. It's terrible. This is ugly as shit. So I want to figure out, how do I make this look nice? And I feel like I already have an idea. I think I want to put some kind of like arch here. And I'm thinking like maybe doing one of those Japanese arches. It's one of those things that like the Shinto Buddhists, they like bow down in front of it, like the red like little arch thing. I feel like that would look cool here because it would like kind of frame the nether portal. And then of course, you know, you have all these nice cherry trees here, which are, you know, casting their petals down onto the ground. So I feel like I kind of want to do that. And then what I'm thinking is maybe over here, or maybe over one of these walls or something, but somewhere like right near here. And maybe we could do it, well, I don't know about over here, but somewhere over here, we need to make like a little base here in case like it's nighttime when we come out, so we don't have to walk and get almost murdered by a creeper. I feel like that would be the goal for this episode, is we want to put like an arch here, maybe plant some more trees around here, and make some kind of base off to the side here, over there, or somewhere where we can stay if it's nighttime when we come out of the portal. So I think that's the goal. So what's happening in the chat? Why do people think being an adult is putting up with bullshit? Apparently forcing yourself to suffer is adulting. Well, it kind of is what being an adult is. It is suffering. It is enduring hardship, enduring suffering. I would say that that is what makes you an adult. Because as a child, now it depends what you mean by putting up with bullshit, because just in general, putting up with bullshit and like bad shit happening to you and suffering, that is not admirable. You know, it's not admirable to suffer. That's like, a lot of Christians have like this like weird religious belief where they think like suffering is like so based and so awesome. Suffering is not a virtue. But being an adult, I would say, is in a sense about suffering. Because as a child, right, you're a child. And when you're a child, you cannot deal with suffering. There's a quartz block. Let me get the... Oh, we don't have any quartz. Not enough. When you're a child, you can't deal with suffering. You're vulnerable. The world is dangerous. You're easily destroyed, right? So, as a child, your life can't be suffering, because if your life is suffering, you'll either die, and if you don't die, you'll come out with some kind of crippling illness. So what is this? We have a blast furnace here. What does this do? Blast furnace. And let me put it down there. So this feels like more of a place for a blast furnace. I don't know. Just kind of does. So what does this do? Put some iron ore here. Does this like cook iron ore faster? I think that's what it does. But so as a child, you can't deal with suffering. So as an adult, what your parents are trying to do for you is to raise you up and make you healthy, so that by the time that you reach adulthood, you will be physically capable of dealing with the suffering that life throws your way. And life is going to throw at you lots of suffering. That's kind of like what life is. Life is ultimately just a series of vanity and vexation of spirit, as it says in Ecclesiastes. Life is vanity, which means it's meaningless, and it's vexation of spirit, and that means it's suffering. That's what vexation of spirit is. It's suffering. And that's just ultimately what life is. So, to be an adult is when you are fully developed. You can, in theory, you can live on your own. And at that point, you don't need your parents because you're self-sufficient. You don't need people to provide for you. You provide for yourself, unless you're a woman. And so your adult life is essentially being on your own, putting up with suffering. And I don't mean being isolated, but I mean being capable of providing for yourself and dealing with the suffering on your own if you need it to. But obviously, isolation is bad. So, I don't know. That's my 2 cents on the whole issue. So I guess the blast furnace is pretty decent here. I'll throw some coal in this. Smelt up my ores. Ah, but the trade-off is you can only use this nether coal shit. Okay. But it goes faster. Alright. Alright, that's interesting. That adds depth to gameplay. Yeah, but I do know that there are a lot of people, and this is like the problem that a lot of people have with Oliver Anthony, I I used to hate Oliver Anthony, and I still kind of do because he is a sellout. But the more that I guess, what's the word? The more that I see from him when he's talking about Christianity and stuff, I kind of like him in a way. I'm not really a fan of his musical skills. I think he sucks, but I don't like hate him anymore. But the big problem that a lot of people have with Oliver Anthony is that he, in his songs, glorifies suffering and like kind of brags about suffering. Like, it's nothing to brag about to say, I've been selling my soul working all day. Like, that is something you should be ashamed of. Like, the concept that you're giving up your soul and selling your soul to the devil for cash, you know? But I know so many adults in my life, like, people are like, in fact, including my parents, but my, like, parents' siblings and stuff, and they, like, really glorify suffering and talk about, oh, I grew up poor, and so that, like, makes me cool and better than you. I'm better than you because I grew up poor, you know? And it's like, there's this thing about, like, despising rich people. Christianity has a lot of that too, where, like, you despise the rich, we hate the rich, and, like, being rich is looked upon as being a bad thing. And like, that's just gay. Like, there's no virtue in being poor. There's no virtue, there's no inherent virtue in suffering. So I don't know. And I just be hiccuping. Beautiful, wonderful. This looks not that great. It doesn't look as good as I thought it would be. Alright, tearing this down. We'll think of something else. See, I'm thinking like we need some kind of like arch here. Some kind of way to welcome like people in. Some kind of like clear visual symbol that you look at here and you're like, okay, this is where I want to go. This is like the thing that like your eye is drawn to here. You know? But that is not it. That is not it. But what is it? That's the question. Does that look terrible? So that was not it. 100% not it. Now I gotta collect this stupid log. This is all just vanity and vexation of spirit. Fuck. There's honorable suffering and based suffering. Sacrificial suffering. Bullshit suffering is different. Bro is a plant. What am I doing? Photosynthesis? I'm a plant? Oh, you're talking about Oliver Anthony. Yes. Yes, he is a plant. I guess a simple thing we can do here is like put some fire. Put some fire down. You know, and that adds a little bit. Yeah, we could maybe just make the floor here netherrack. Be like, yo, you're entering the nether. You know, make it look like maybe this like nether cave. I was gonna say something more vulgar, but it wouldn't be, that would be a sin to say what I was gonna say. Ouch. Nah, you know what? Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do that. This will look cool. let's like, you know, like cover up the nether portal. Like, how does that look? Yeah, like this crack in the wall here, this crack into another dimension. But I'm already out of netherrack, so we're gonna have to go back to the nether and get some more. But yeah, Oliver Anthony is a plant. He's what you would call an industry plant. For those of you that don't know what an industry plant is, an industry plant is basically like someone who didn't get famous because they have like an organic following of fans. They got famous because through botting, and also because they pay a bunch of rich people who have influence to shout them out, right? So that like it's not like he's this underground artist who has gathered this like cult following that slowly builds and builds and builds. You know, instead it's, you know, it's fake. It's all made up. Like Vince, yeah, exactly like Vince Dow. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, just like that guy, Vince Dow. Yeah, yeah. Just pay Ben Shapiro to shout out your YouTube channel. That's the deal, you know. Let's put some more netherrack like up here too. You had to give the vibe like this is some kind of scourge on humanity growing out of the nether portal. You know? Like that's kind of the vibe that you want to get here, is you want to like vines growing out of the nether portal, you know? Not Vine like the app. Like veins growing out. Like maybe I could do these 2 dirt blocks, replace that with netherrack here. Yeah, let's replace that with netherrack too. It's gotta look kind of like you know, like flesh, because that's kind of what netherrack does look like just in general. It looks like flesh, but it has to have like a kind of organic feel. This netherrack here. So I feel like if I do that, that will sell it. It won't look like I just spammed a bunch of shit here. I guess maybe we gotta do some here too, right? Like that? How does this look? I don't know. Over here, just a little bit of stone needs to turn into some netherrack. Like it's consuming the world here, this netherrack. That's the kind of vibe I want to go for this thing. So then I guess this has to as well. I'm just kind of like eyeballing it. I mean, this basically is just spamming netherrack down. So then I want to add some glowstone. That would be the next thing. And then maybe light some more of this on fire. Like that. I don't know. Will that burn me if I walk here? Will this burn? Okay, that won't burn. That will burn me though. But that won't burn me. And then put some glowstone like in there, right there. And then let me light this stuff on fire up top here. Because I feel like that will add a little bit to it. They'll add a little bit to the creepiness factor. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Vince Dow, gay. That's just the truth. Nah, that looks stupid. We need some up there too. We need some up there. I hope this is interesting to you. Do you guys enjoy just like chilling and playing Minecraft? I just enjoy it sometimes. I don't really play Minecraft all that awesome. In fact, this is the first time I think I've played Minecraft in 3 months, you know. But I don't know. It's nice to just be able to vibe here and just think about some low stress stuff, you know. I don't know if you guys get it or not, but it's just the vibe, you know, you just vibe. I just be vibing, you know. I don't know if you guys have ever just been vibing, but that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just vibing. Straight up. That's the reality. That's the truth. Why don't you guys send some super chats, man? Where are the super chats at? WEF put him up. World Economic Forum. I don't know about that. I don't think the conspiracy with Oliver Anthony is that deep. But maybe. I don't know. So, we're continuing our build here. Oh, no, I forgot the glowstone. We gotta get the glowstone. Hold up. We gotta get the glowstone. We can't just forget. We can't just forego, you know? Hey. Glowstone. It's in the random bullshit chest. Now, how much do I need to make a... Okay, that's really good. I don't even think I need that much glowstone, but we're gonna use it. And I remember I had an idea of putting glowstone here. Will that work now? Now that I have it? That don't look too good. And now I'm trapped. Help me. I could put a glowstone down here though. That would look kind of okay, because it would like make like the water glow, like this little bit of ominousness to it. Let me get the fuck out of here. Minecraft, yo, what's popping? Buckwater. Buckwater once sent $1,000 on a new eSand stream. It's true. Legends say he's still bankrupt. He's still bankrupt after sending that money. But the world may never know. Trillions to your friendly hood. Real. Alright, so I said right here, I think would be a good spot for just a single piece of glowstone. I'm feeling right there. That's a good spot for glowstone. And then something like down here. There. That's a good spot. And then up here. Let's do up there. And I guess this is just kind of spamming blocks out. But I feel like it kind of does capture the vibe here. it doesn't look the greatest, and we'll add to this. We'll make this better. But for right now, I mean, I think this does capture the vibe of like this, the portal. There's like shit growing out of the portal, like the nether is spreading into the world. It's not the most original idea, but it's better than what it did look like. So, you know. Is this alpha with mods? Yes, so this is a beta 1.7.3 mod. Beta version of Minecraft. Beta 1.7.3. And the mod is called Better Than Adventure. Alright, and so what it seeks to do is it seeks to take the beta version of Minecraft and update it to the modern day. As though, like, Minecraft never left beta. They never added a hunger bar. They never added the end. They never added, you know, villagers or anything like that. And so it maintains, like, the feel of old Minecraft, where it was a kind of more rough game and a scarier game. But it also, like, adds, like, a lot more content to, like, make it more interesting just building and killing monsters. Beta. So true. Real. Alright. So, the next thing that I want to get... Well, the next thing I really want to do is I want to put away all this fucking bullshit. So next thing I want to know is, what does a quartz block look like? Because apparently there are quartz blocks. So this is a pink block. A pink, like, metallic block here. Let me get in the light here. We gotta see this. So this is a quartz block. And I honestly think that's really pretty. That is very pretty. That's a pretty block. What do I do with a quartz block? Chat has any ideas? Tell me what to do with the quartz block. Beta is based, there's no Jews, and you can only eat pork. Real. Proof that Notch was our guy. Alright, put the wood back here. I don't think we need wood right now. The stone away. Because I don't think we need stone currently. And, So I have this thing. It's called a trommel, not a centrifuge. I don't know why I called it a centrifuge earlier, because there's other mods where that's called a centrifuge and it has like a similar look to that. But that's a trommel. And what this does, if I can find my fuel, is this sifts through sand and it pops out shit. And there's a lot of different, like, little, like, there's olivine. I don't know what olivine is. And there's other stuff that can be turned into blocks that we really haven't, like, looked at yet. So I'm wondering what kind of blocks we can get out of this, and if there's anything that's cool that we could build with these gems. So I'm just gonna kind of leave that running, and we'll think about it. Now, let me ask you guys in the chat that are watching this, have you ever played or heard of a game called Firewatch? Have you guys ever heard of that game? Tell me a yes or no in the chat. What song is being played? The song currently being played right now is No One Love You from the Silent Hill 2 soundtrack. Yeah, the walking game. Firewatch was this game that came out. It had these trailers that came out, and it had a very beautiful art style. Its art style was kind of like in the vein of Team Fortress 2, but it was like it wasn't a comedy shooter game. Instead, it was more of like like, you know, like a deep story game, okay? It was like an RPG was kind of what the game was. And so when the trailers came out, the game had like all this like huge amount of hype. I don't know if you guys remember this, but there was a huge amount of hype behind Firewatch. And the game finally came out and everyone got pissed about the game because the game was basically just a walking simulator where occasionally, like literally you're just walking the whole game, just walking around. It's walking around like this through a national park, Yosemite National Park in like fucking Oregon or whatever. And so you just, Wyoming, I think is where the game takes place. You're just walking around. You're just walking around. And then occasionally you click dialogue options to talk to someone on the radio, like one of the other characters who talks to you on the radio. That's the whole game. But what pissed people off, because like that's like, it was actually like kind of good and it had like a little bit of depth to the gameplay. But what pissed people off about the game is that there was this kind of like building up plot that the plot was actually about some kind of like evil scientific experiment, UFO, skinwalker shit happening in national parks. And that's like what the game was about, was like people getting kidnapped into national parks and getting killed by skinwalkers, and there's UFOs and shit. And that's like what everyone thought. But the end of the game, I'm going to spoil the end of the game. Fuck you. It's a shitty game. It's not worth it. But the end of the game, there's none of that. None of that's real. None of that's real. There are no skinwalkers in the game. There is no secret plot to kidnap people by the US government. And everyone got pissed off because that was the obvious direction the game was going, and then it cucks you and it says, no, actually nope. Actually nope, there is no secret conspiracy. There's no deeper meaning to life, you know. And that game is actually kind of nihilistic too, like it's really gay. But anyways, as I'm building this little nether portal thing here, I've kind of been reminded of that game. And the reason I am reminded of that game is because in that game there is this like secret research camp that you can find where they have like a telescope and tent set up, and they have all this sci-fi kind of technology. And so your character and all the gamers, they come to the conclusion that there's some kind of, you know, secret conspiracy where they're conducting experiments on people. And I feel like over there with the portal, the build that we're making, that would be a really good idea, is to make some kind of like science camp there where like scientists are camped out monitoring the portal. You know, like the portal is like Amigara Fault, and you have all the news reporters and shit from that Junji Ito comic, that mango, about the holes in the wall and the people walk into the holes. I wanna like kind of like mimic that. Like we need like some people like camped out there like watching the nether portal as like the shit spreads. But I gotta think of how to do that. How do you do that? Because we're kind of limited in the blocks that we can use. There is no like white block. I thought maybe the quartz block would be it, because quartz is the white block in modern Minecraft, but this quartz is like pink. So I think iron blocks are white. So what I'm thinking is like, if I can show you, down here, if we go down, I'm thinking right here, in here, we should put a door here. And inside of this, there should be like a little, like, room where like they have like scientific shit. I don't know what the scientific shit would be. I guess like blast furnaces, the trommel, and those kind of blocks, where like they're monitoring the growth of this flesh. And I feel like that would be cool. That would be interesting. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know if that will look cool. So I have to think about that. Maybe I want to have some stuff out here too. Like some stuff set up here to monitor it. That scared me. I didn't think that was a cow. Wool block? Well, wool block doesn't give the... It's not sterile. It's white, but I'm talking about like a white that's sterile. You know, like sterile, like a school. A school, you know, like cinder block brick walls that are like painted over in white, and the white drips a little bit onto all the like electrical outlets and shit. Like that kind of white block, you know, that's the kind of vibe I'm thinking of for this little build over here. But yeah, I don't know. Man. Well, but have you guys are you guys familiar with Junji Ito? Are you guys familiar with H.P. Lovecraft? Like, are you guys... Because I'm a big fan of that. I don't know if you guys are. I feel like my audience is the kind of audience to be into that stuff. But I want to know, like, what do you guys like that? I used to be really into that. And I actually think being into H.P. Lovecraft and that kind of cosmic horror stories actually helped me to become a Christian. Unironically, I think that stuff actually helped me to be Christian, because I started reading that stuff before I was very much interested in spirituality, right? Like, I wasn't really big into spirituality, and I read those books because I was interested in being an author at the time, and I'm still, in some extent, interested in being an author, and I was also interested in being a filmmaker, okay? And what I wanted to do is I wanted to make like a horror movie, because my favorite movies that I watch as a kid were all horror movies. And so I was really interested in different kinds of like horror films and stuff like that. And I really got interested in what one would call psychological horror, like Silent Hill. And the first types of people that I read as far as the psychological horror is H.P. Lovecraft. And what H.P. Lovecraft, to basically kind of explain what his books are, is basically his books are like, you know, like the Greek myths or like the poetic Eddas, you know, like these. It's like a mythology series, but it's a fake mythology series, okay? It's not a real mythology series. It's totally made up. It's totally fictitious. But it's a mythology series where there are these gods that are invisible and they are around us and they control every aspect of reality. But they're evil, basically. But they're evil. Okay? They're all, like, evil and bad. But because they're all powerful, you know, these all-powerful entities, at least compared to us, they're all powerful. There's nothing that we can do to stop them. You know, like, there's nothing that we can do to deal with the, their power and evil shit that they execute into humanity. And hold on, I need to go adjust my heater real quick, but I'll keep talking. So basically, in these stories, they're like they're like evil gods, and so they don't view humanity as being important. They don't view humanity the way that like the Abrahamic God would view humanity. They view humanity as basically like maybe ants, and maybe even like less than ants, like microbes, like DNA, you know, like a virus, not in a negative sense, but just in a you know these eukaryotic tiny cells that are of no consequence to them, basically, is kind of like the concept. And so some of these entities do interact with humanity, but they don't have any goodwill towards humanity. They just like toy with humanity to cause humanity to suffer, basically. And so all those books, the cosmic horror books by H.P. Lovecraft, Call of Cthulhu, Dagon, The Color of Outer Space, and stuff like that, basically like the main theme and the main concept behind, there's iron bricks. Okay, iron bricks. But anyways, that's like the main concept behind them. And I always found that stuff so fascinating because it was so different from most horror that you look at. Most horror is like, oh, there's like a scary guy chasing me with a chainsaw. Whereas like this shit is like deep, and it's like very, it really, if you like read the stuff, it's kind of gay and retarded, but it also kind of like really hits deep. It hits deep into like the existential fears of humanity. Like, what if life is meaningless? And like powerlessness. It kind of hits like to like the fears of an abused child. Like, you're powerless in the face of like an all-powerful entity which hates you, which is kind of like what you experience as a child if you get abused as a child. And so I always found those books to be like fascinating. But anyways, I don't know. So, oh yeah, to get back to the point that I was bringing this up about, reading that stuff, I think actually helped me a lot in becoming a Christian. I went like Smoke Pit 3000 just recently made a good video. It's related to this subject. So if you're done watching this, go over to Smoke Pit 3000's channel on YouTube and watch this video. He made a video called Why Christians Should Not Listen to Jordan Peterson. And in the video, he talks about how Jordan Peterson is inspired by Carl Jung, who's a guy who inspired me. If you guys watched my earliest videos, you guys know that I'm inspired. I used to be inspired by Carl Jung. And Jordan Peterson, his stuff is inspired by Carl Jung. And Carl Jung is inspired by H.P. Lovecraft. Or maybe H.P. Lovecraft is inspired by Jung. But basically, when I found out about God, and I found out about like what the actual Christian God was like, because most people, they think of God and they think of God as this this man in the sky, this guy in the sky that, just kind of is there, and he just like interacts with humanity. But of course, you read the Bible, and the Bible's talking about this thing that is so large and so infinite that it like transcends space and time. Like, the concept of time did not exist until God invented it. So like, God is timeless in the fact that he's infinite. Like, he's not just like, he hasn't just existed for a really long time. It's just that like, he is not even bound by time at all. And there's these concepts like the Trinity. There's these concepts, like that. There's these concepts of being immaterial, like the concept that he is not made out of anything. And people, I think, really struggle to like wrap their heads around that shit. But I never had a struggle wrapping my head around that because I read like this cosmic horror shit where like the whole concept of those books is like, well, what if Yahweh was evil? That's basically what the books are about. It's like, what if God was evil? And it's just like nihilism. It's nihilism about how like these things that are bigger than the universe, more powerful than you could ever possibly imagine, just toying with you and causing you immense suffering. Like the book of Job type of shit. And there's nothing you can do about it. And no one believes you and everyone thinks you're insane. You know? So, I don't know. And that's kind of dark. And I guess if you look at God through that lens, you could paint God as very dark. Of course, we know that, like, God is not, you know, evil. But, anyways, one of my favorite cosmic horror stories that I read was by a guy named Junji Ito. And Junji Ito is this, you know, Jap who makes mango. He makes manga, right? And one of his stories, and so he's a cosmic horror author, and his most popular story, and it's like my favorite one that he's written, is this story called I think it's called Amigara Fault is what it's called. A lot of you guys have probably heard of it. If any of you are like weebs, I'm not really a weeb. I'm not really into anime. But I liked his stuff because I liked H.P. Lovecraft. And so Amigara Fault is basically about this town in Japan. And there's this big earthquake. And a ravine opens up. A big like canyon opens up in the middle of this town. And in the wall of the canyon, there are these holes, you know? And so researchers come out, and then eventually the news media comes out and stuff like that to like report on this like new geological finding. But there's all these holes in the wall of the canyon. And the holes are shaped like people. They're human-shaped holes that just go hundreds of miles into the earth, like through the earth. They just go deeper and deeper and deeper in the wall. And so tons of people start coming there. It becomes like this tourist attraction. And what starts to happen is people start to have like this uncontrollable urge to walk into the holes. They feel as though these holes are like made for them, and that they have been destined their entire life to walk into the hole. And so people are like going into there, and they walk like deeper and deeper into the hole, and that like eventually like kills them basically. And that's like the whole horror thing, is that like people are just going into these holes and walking, and they're like skin tight holes, and like their skin is starting to be ripped off and scraped away by the walls, the cave walls. And the like main character is like there, and he has to like fight off the urge to walk into the hole, and he's like really struggling with it. It's a great book. I don't really have any like analysis on it right now. If you guys in the chat have read it, or you know you're interested in what I'm talking about, you have anything you want to bring up about it. I don't really know what the point of it is. I'd have to think about it. I'm not fresh. I haven't like read it in a while, so I'm not really thinking about it too frequently. But I don't know, it's just a good book. It's a good book. Well, I like cosmic horror a lot. The reason I like it is because what it deals with fundamentally is it deals with subjective truth, the concept that you can like never truly know anything, that like the world as we know it, the truth is not knowable, and you can never know that like the other people around you are actually real. You can never know that the color green that I see, like this grass is green, but how do I know that you look at the grass and you see red, but in your perspective you call red green, because everything that I see as green you see as red, you know? And so it's like this concept that like you can't really know anything, and for all I know I'm the only person alive, right? And that's really freaky. That's really freaky. This whole like concept of the human mind is not capable of knowing the truth. And there's truth to that. There is truth to that. You know, like unless you've like been to Europe, you can't know for sure Europe exists. And even if you go to Europe, you know, unless you're European, in which case, you know, unless you go to another country, how do you know the other country exists? You know, unless you've seen an atom, how do you know an atom exists? You're like, well, my hand are made out of atoms, but how do you know your hand's made out of atoms? You don't know that. You know, you don't know that your hand is made out of atoms. You've just been told that it is. And so then it gets into like how a lot of the stuff that we claim to know, especially atheists, and it's kind of what broke me out of atheism, is a lot of the stuff that we claim to know is just irrational beliefs based on blind faith. Like atoms. I've never seen an atom in my entire life. None of you, unless you're a physicist and you're like a quantum physicist, you know, you've never seen an atom in your life. Never. You've never even seen a picture of an atom, because you can't take a picture of an atom, because an atom is so small, light can't bounce off of it. You have never seen an atom in your life. You do not know atoms are real. You just believe atoms are real, you know? And so I've talked to people about how, like, you know, how do I know God's real? You know, how do I know for sure? I want to be like 100% sure God's real. But the thing is, like, you can never be 100% sure about anything. You can never be 100% sure that, like, you're even alive. Like, you can never be 100% sure you're not in a dream. You can never be 100% sure that you have a body. You know, there's good evidence, but how do you know that you're not just a brain in like a jar that has like a computer connected to it and you're being like ran through a simulation of life, but in reality, like, you're like just some test subject by some aliens. You know, you don't know that. You don't know that. And there's no way you could possibly know one way or the other. You couldn't know one way or the other, like, what the actual reality is, you know? You're just stuck with what we are capable of knowing using our eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and our skin. You know? And that's just a reality, you know? But so when people say like, oh, well, how can I know God is real? You know, why should I believe in God? You know, how can I prove God's real if I've never seen God? It's like, well, even if you saw God, that wouldn't be good evidence he exists. But at the same token, even if you see an atom, that's not good evidence that it exists. So why not just believe in God, even though it might be an irrational faith-based thing, you know? So I don't know, that's just something that I like to think about occasionally. I don't know. Just let me give you on an existential crisis, you know. Best Minecraft song? That's a good question. My favorite Minecraft song, I think, I would say, is the song that I use at the intro of my Sunday school videos. That song is Dry Hands by C418. That is the best Minecraft song. Dry Hands by C418. At least that's my favorite. I don't know if that's the best one, but I like it the most. Try Not to Silent Hill OST Impossible. Well, so I have a playlist, and it's the playlist that's playing right now. And the playlist is designed to be like music that would fit in Minecraft. Like it would be something that would be in Minecraft. Like you could see it being in Minecraft. But it's not music that's in Minecraft. And I think a lot of the Silent Hill music that I picked, and I also wanted stuff for a horror vibe. Because I created this playlist back when I was still, doing streams with Noah. And we were doing that Herobrine stream. That Herobrine series. And so I wanted it to kind of feel... So with the Herobrine series, I was kind of doing almost a little bit of like a gay ARG kind of thing. And I wanted it to feel like it was like a corrupted version of Minecraft, right? It was like a corrupted version of Minecraft that we're playing on. Where, like, the music is, like, kind of off and kind of unsettling. So rather than using the in-game music, I made the playlist where it's like, it's the Minecraft songs mixed in with these slightly unsettling songs. But they're not, like, super unsettling. It's just, like, marginally unsettling and actually kind of calming and soothing. Which is, like, that's kind of what the Minecraft music is like. That's kind of like what it's like to play Minecraft. Especially when you play it alone. When I was a kid, Minecraft was probably the scariest games I played, because Minecraft, it's up until recently, up until like the addition of villagers and villagers being like really common and wandering traders and all that bullshit. Before that time, when Minecraft had no humanoid entities besides zombies and skeletons, Minecraft was just a very, very eerie game. And so you'd play Minecraft and you'd be walking around in this totally empty world. Just, there's nothing here. Other than the things that you've built, there's nothing. And so you walk through it and you feel as though, as you're playing, like there must be someone else here. So whenever I play Minecraft, I just, when I was a kid, I would always be terrified, especially like mining. I remember there was this one time when I was mining when I came upon a torch in a mine. And I wasn't sure if I placed that torch or what it was, but it was just this lone torch in a cave. I never played on that world save again because I thought there must be someone else in my world, because, and then of course you had the legend of Herobrine, and that's where the whole creepypasta Herobrine idea came from, is the creepypasta of Herobrine is basically feeding on the fact that Minecraft at that time was so lonely that you just couldn't help but fill in that, like, you'd hear a footstep or something out there, and that you think you just see someone else in the world in the corner of your eye, just at the edge of the fog there. You see someone walk very quickly behind that, and you go out and you try to chase them, but you're too slow to reach them. You never see them, you know. So, you know, I don't know. But so that's why, but anyway, so I did that series because someone finally made a Herobrine mod. And it was a Herobrine mod that was designed to be like that. So Herobrine wouldn't, like, attack you or anything. You would never see him up close. The way the mod worked, it's called, I forget what it's called. I think it's called, Into the Fog, or something like that. In the Fog, or From the Fog. It's From the Fog is the mod. But anyways, the way the mod worked is he would, like, spawn, like, you know, like 20, 30 blocks away, and he'd spawn, like, right next to a tree or something, and he'd walk behind the tree, or he'd run away, or he'd just stand there and then, like, disappear as soon as, like, you turn to see him. Like, as soon as he reached, like, the corner of your screen, he'd just disappear, you know? And so I want the music to kind of reflect the feeling of that, and so that's why I made this playlist, and so now I just play Minecraft with it. Unfortunately, you know, Noah got himself into trouble, as I've spoken on before, and so we're not going to be doing any public content together, and I don't really talk to him at all, in general. But yeah, what am I doing? I'm just walking around. I'm just waltzing around. I need to mine. So we should be capable of knowing God's real, though, if we can know other things. So, like, I always say, like, what does it mean to know something? You know, what does it mean to know that you have a hand? You know? Because I think ultimately we have to operate based on what is available to us. We can't operate like, well, what if I am just in a simulation? Because there's no way you can prove that. There's also no way I can disprove that I'm in a simulation, but there's no way I can prove I'm in one. So I'd rather, you want to work on the things that you can prove and the things that are in your control. So, you know, like, you don't want to focus on bullshit like that. So can I know God is real? Can you know God is real? And that's a great question. And I would say yes. If you limit knowledge to the extent that we limit all other forms of knowledge, where it's like, because you can't know anything 100% for sure. But if I say, okay, can I know God is sure with like a 99.9% probability? If my reality is real, can I know God's real? Yes, you can know for sure God is real. But, okay, let's get into, I guess, like, how do you know God is real, right? So there's a plethora of evidence for God. There is so much evidence for God. There's too much to name. And briefly, I'd say I could list you a lot of good arguments for God that are based on evidence. So the first one is the Kalam cosmological argument. Most of you are familiar with this. If you've watched my video, like, top 5 best proof for God or whatever, I think I might have took it down. I'm not sure, because I didn't like how I look. I think it's still up, though. But the video is, like, called, like, top 5 best top 5 reasons to believe God exists or something like that. And it's one of my earlier videos. It was one of my first collaborations with Noah, actually. But in that video, I talked about the Kalam cosmological argument. I've talked about 5 reasons to believe God exists. And the Kalam cosmological argument is based on St. Thomas of Aquinas's cosmological argument, but it's updated for like the modern day knowledge that we know about the universe today. And so basically it's based on 2 factual statements, okay? So these 2 factual statements are this. The first one is all things that exist, that come into existence, all things that come into existence, that begin, all things that begin is the way it's phrased. All things that begin to exist have a cause, right? So for example, a baby begins to exist, right? A baby does not, like, for example, you are a human. At one time you were a baby, and there was a time when you did not exist. Your existence began. All things that begin to exist have a cause, is the first statement in which the Kalam is based off of. Okay? And this is true, right? For example, babies, they begin to exist. Right? That's obvious. The next factual statement which the Kalam works on is the universe began to exist. Most people agree on this. All religions agree on this. And most people call the beginning of the universe the Big Bang, is what they call it. They say the Big Bang. All right, and that's the beginning of the universe. So, based on these 2 factual statements, and they are factual statements, that all things begin to exist, have a cause, and the universe began to exist, you know, based on that, you know for certain that the universe, which began to exist, has a cause. It must have a cause, because all things that begin to exist have a cause. So, if that's true, the universe has a cause, and then you have to question, what causes the universe to exist? What would that look like? And so when you get down to it, the thing that would cause the universe to exist would have to be more powerful than the universe. And since the universe is everything known to exist, we could safely call this thing, which is more powerful than the universe, all-powerful. The universe works based on mathematical formulas and laws, which means that whatever caused the universe must have a conscious mind to think up these laws. Therefore, it must be a being, right? So it can't just be a force. It has to be some kind of conscious entity. And so that's one thing that gives proof for God. I gotta take a little sippy sip here. Give me a sec. So, that would be God, basically, right? Obviously. Specifically, the Abrahamic God. So, Crunchy B-Roll asks in chat, how do they know the universe even began? Because things here start existing. The reason we know that the universe began, okay, they would say there's the evidence for the Big Bang. You could look into that. I don't believe in the Big Bang, okay? But I can give you this evidence, right? We exist in time, okay? So time is a real thing. Now, if the universe did not begin, that means that the universe has always existed. Okay, you following? If the universe always existed, then that means it's existed for an infinite amount of time. Which means you can keep going back in time and never reach a beginning. Now, if that is true, what that would also tell you is that you would never be able to reach here. If I can never reach the beginning of where it starts, how do you go from the beginning to reach to here? If the universe has always existed and it did not have a beginning, then that means that the universe cannot be the way it is now. Like, you can't get the 2023 AD from wherever the start point is if there is no start point. Time is not capable of existing in a universe where there is no beginning of the universe. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's a very easy logical reason to think that there is a beginning of the universe there. But of course, you know, there's the evidence of the Big Bang and stuff like that. And so that's more reasons to know that the universe has a beginning, and therefore more reasons to know that there is a God. But so, like, another way to prove God exists is the resurrection of Christ, right? And I've talked about this. There's a great video by Mike Winger called Proof of the Resurrection, or Evidence of the Resurrection. And I have made a few posts on this, but there's so much evidence that Jesus rose from the dead. If Jesus rose from the dead, you have to question, how did he rise from the dead? Number one. Well, if he rose from the dead, that is a miracle, right? Like, that is not something that can just happen in nature. So that means that there's something unnatural, supernatural happening. And you have to ask, well, what could cause that? Jesus himself says the thing that caused his resurrection, the thing that caused him to come back to life after dying, was God, the God of Judaism, okay? And so, in addition to that, Jesus himself is the only person who has died and been to the afterlife, which means he is the only person who can tell us if there is an afterlife. And he says that there is an afterlife. And since he died and came back after being dead for 3 days, he would be the only one who would know if there's an afterlife. So therefore, that is evidence that there is an afterlife. I hope that helps you. Oh yeah, there's obsidian there. That's where I got my obsidian. I'm looking for iron right now. I am also looking for diamonds because I'm running low on diamonds. So let me go try this way. So another evidence for God, I'll promise I'll wrap up on this one, but is fulfilled prophecies in the Bible. How does this book predict the future to incredible accuracy if there is no supernatural things going on with the book? How does the book predict the future? So that proves that the Bible is divinely inspired. Divinely inspired means inspired by God, so therefore there must be a God. And then finally, the last evidence. Well, I don't know. I mean, like, that's basically it, I would say, as far as evidence for God. There's lots more stuff, but I don't know. I don't want to keep listing stuff, you know, like, I feel like I've kind of covered that, but of course, but there's a lot of reasons to believe God's existence. And when you combine it all together, it's just like irrefutable. Like, it's impossible to like deny God's existence, you know? And I've done the research, okay? Like, I was not predisposed to believing in a God, okay? I was an atheist. I didn't even agree with the morality of Christianity. I thought that Christianity was evil. So I was convinced of Christianity due to research, basically. I'd say the guy who presented the best evidence of God that converted me to being a theist, if you want to know where I looked, I would not personally recommend listening to this guy. But the guy who helped me to become a theist is Carl Jung. And I think he offered the best evidence that I had seen at that point in my life for God's existence. Now, since then, I have found better evidence. I personally think the best evidence for God's existence is the resurrection of Christ. But that's what personally converted me to theism, is Carl Jung. It wasn't the resurrection of Christ. I didn't even know about the resurrection of Christ when I converted to become a believer in a God, a theist. When I learned about him from Peanut Butter Gamer, I was home and sat in the corner so I couldn't be snuck up on. Hero Brian? Yeah, shit was scary, man. And they had like the wake up copy pasta. Wake up. You've been in a coma. You know, that one. That was the Hero Brian copy pasta originally. Man. Hero Brian paranoia. Chess your cobble, troglodyte. I wonder how we prove time is real and not a construct. It's easy. It's easy. I don't know if, because you say after this, thank you, so helpful for real. But no, it's easy to prove time is real. You just say, how do I get from the beginning of time to now if there's no beginning? You can't, if you go infinitely, you never reach the end. So how do you reach any point at all if you can't reach? You have to travel infinitely to get to where we are now, which means you never get here. It's almost mind-breaking to think about that. So people who are low IQ have the luxury to say time is just a construct. But just think about, how do I travel an infinite amount of time to reach the year 2023? How do you travel an infinite amount of time to reach the year 4000? Or to reach any year? How do you travel an infinite distance? Your brain can't even process that. You know? Creeper sighting. Space-time began when the Big Bang occurred. People think it's an explosion of matter when it's not. No. Yes. Listen, man. If space-time began with the Big Bang, how did the Big Bang start? What, like, you know, like, it's just like the Big Bang just happened. It just happened. What things just happen? Nothing just happens. There's literally nothing that just happens. Nothing can move without... It is literally... listen, right now. It is literally a fundamental law of physics. The law of cause and effect. There is nothing that can happen in the universe without a cause. My camera cannot move off this table unless I either pick it up or someone else picks it up. If something shakes the table so much that it falls off, the camera can't come off the table until something enacts force onto it. This is an essential law of physics. So to say like, oh, the Big Bang just happened. Literally one of the fundamental laws of the universe. The fundamental laws of the universe is that nothing can just happen. There is nothing that can just happen in the universe. Like it's impossible. Everything that happens has a cause. So I don't know. But yeah, so the Big Bang's gay. Big Bang believers are retarded because they think just something can come from nothing. And it's like, no, that's a fundamental law of physics. That's the first law of thermodynamics, I'm pretty sure, is that matter cannot be created. It can only be transformed from one form to another. So how do you have something happen without a cause? How do you have something happen without a cause? How did energy get added to the stable system? You can't create energy. So how do you add energy? How does the Big Bang happen on its own where energy just suddenly appears? Like, that's just retarded. It's literally retarded. You know? And when you watch any of these scientists that talk about the Big Bang, they talk about how, oh, guys, like, freaking the universe just keeps recreating itself over and over again. There's these pockets. It's literally just nonsense. Like, it is just bullshit. They're literally just talking bullshit. They're literally just pulling shit out of their ass. It's literally all fake. Let's sleep through a thunderstorm. I don't know. I mean, like, you'd have to take like an actual science class in order to debunk this stuff and understand what I'm talking about. Like, you would have had to pay attention in science and pay attention in chemistry also. But these are like the fundamental laws of the universe, the laws of physics, prevent the Big Bang from happening unless there is a God. Like, just straight up. Like, that's just like the reality. The Big Bang cannot happen unless God exists. Just according to the laws of nature. the laws of reality. Like, the fundamental laws of physics prevent that from happening on its own. It could have happened, but it couldn't have happened on its own. The universe didn't just spontaneously explode into existence. So we back in the mine, swinging that pickaxe from side to side, side to side. Real, we're so back. Some guy was complaining before the stream started during the intro video, and they were talking about how Minecraft is a children's game and you shouldn't play Minecraft. This is embarrassing. No, Minecraft is based. Okay? Minecraft is based. I feel like I should angle the camera down more. What do you guys think of that? This camera's bothering me. I have to fix this. Okay, hold on. I have to fix this. Okay, this is killing me. I keep looking down at the chat. And it looks stupid. That's so much better. That right there is so much better. This looks so much nicer. Okay, continue. Continue to play. Yeah, someone was saying that Minecraft is a children's game and I shouldn't be playing this as a grown adult. And you know what I have to say? Fuck you. I do what I want. I'm not finding the things that I want here. So maybe I should try strip mining lower. I don't know. Maybe I should just continue strip mining. I'll keep going. I'll keep going. Maybe we'll find something. I think we did find iron here, so maybe there's more iron. I'll go just a little bit more down this way, and if I don't find any iron here, I'll finish off this one wall, and we'll see. If we can't, I'll go deeper. Send in some stuff in the chat for me to talk about, so you're not just watching boring mining, by the way. Ask me some questions. How am I doing tonight, Hood? Thank you, Jonathan, for the question. I am doing quite swell. I've been working on a lot of construction projects. I've been playing okay, thank God we found some diamonds, because we need the diamonds. Real. Alright, any more? That's just it, just one. That sucks. Oh, no, there are more. Yippee! Hooray. I'm so happy. Alright, anyways. So I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing very good. I've been having some great days. I had a very depressing day yesterday because my dog died. It was inevitable to come, so I'm not like too depressed about it. I'm actually happy that she's out of her suffering. She's like 17 years old. She had cancer riddling her body, you know. So I'm happy that she's out of her suffering. That pretty much sucked, but you know, I've been having a pretty good time in my life. I've been doing a lot of construction and playing Minecraft in real life, like I said. And if you've never built things before, it is thrilling. It is thrilling to build. I just love it. I love it. Maybe it's the years of conditioning and brainwashing from playing Minecraft, but doing that kind of shit where like you're making a shed, you know, that is so fun. Building a deck, you know, drilling screws into wood. It costs a lot of money. It costs a lot of money though, and so that like really sucks. But other than that, it is so much fun. It is so much fun to do construction. And as you guys know, when I took my little break, when I took my break from doing streaming and uploading videos, I went and I got a construction job, And now we're doing construction. I'm mainly doing construction on my house right now because so I quit my job there. If you guys don't know, I'm going all over the place. Okay, let me calm down. So I got a job doing construction up in the Appalachian Mountains, and I was building cabins, painting cabins for some rich guy, and I did that for about a month. And I quit that job for a couple reasons. The first reason is that I had the urge to continue making videos. But if I was going to work that job, I was spending a full 5-day work week up there in the Appalachian Mountains, which is a 3-hour drive. And then after that, I would have to drive home to my home in South Jersey. You know, and I have to go drive 3 hours on fucking highways going through like Philly, you know. And it's just terrible, you know. So I couldn't stomach it. I couldn't stomach being away from home. And that was one reason. But there was another reason to that. And it was that my, like, coworkers were fucking alcoholic, drug addict losers. And, that's just... I don't know if you've ever been around alcoholics. It's already, like, grating and annoying to be around them normally. But then it's like... dealing with them where you have to live with them, because we were all basically living together in a cabin for like 5 days a week, living together in the same house. It wasn't like it had multiple rooms in this cabin that we're staying in, the whole construction crew. And you just have to like deal with like their like vices and their problems, and like their constant complaining about their shitty life. My coworker, who's this like 60-year-old man, is complaining. He's going, "My wife doesn't suck my dick. I can't get her to suck my dick." And it's like, oh my gosh, dude. Like, imagine dealing with that, right? I couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle fucking dealing with that shit, man. It was so fucking taxing to my spirit to fucking be around those people. Like, straight up, so fucking taxing. The job itself was fun. Like, I love working. I literally love working. That's why I put out so many videos. Like, if you guys remember when I was uploading consistently, I was putting out like 3 videos a week and then like 2 streams on top of it. So I was putting out like a video every day of the week because I love working. I love doing shit. I just have like, I don't have the best work ethic, but I'd say I have a pretty good work ethic. But living with those people just drained any amount of fun into it. It's like and they would constantly invade my privacy the whole time. They were constantly invading my privacy. I'm sitting here trying to write in my journal after work. I'm sitting here trying to like read the Bible because I don't like want to associate with these people because I don't like them. And so, and maybe that's fucked up on my behalf. But I'm just trying to avoid them. I'm trying to, you know, like talk on the phone to my friends or whatever. Fucking, and they just gotta come in and be like, "Yo, we're smoking weed. Do you want to smoke weed with us? Yo, I got coke. You want coke? No, thanks. I don't do coke. Come on, man. Come out grilling with us, you know." And man, I just can't do it. It would be one thing working with them, like a normal job, normal hours, but it's like you gotta, with the job I was doing, you had to live with them. I couldn't do it, so I quit. And I don't know. But I've been putting my skills to work now on my own property because I got a sick grandmother. She's ill. She's got the Parkinson's. And so we're trying to move her into my house. So we're making an addition to the house so that we can move her in. And then on top of that, my mom's been getting into the whole homesteading thing, which is kind of based. But she's like making me do all the work pretty much. Made me do all the work. And so I'm doing all the work with it. But, you know, so I'm building the chicken coop and all that, and I'm taking care of the chickens and things like that. We planted a garden. We were growing like wheat, growing corn, tomatoes, peppers, and stuff. And so I've been enjoying doing that. Of course, the season for all that's over now. It's you know, the winter started at this point now. But, you know, so yeah, to answer your question, I know this is a long answer, but it's given me something to talk about while I'm sitting here mining, you know, and so it's content. It's content, right? We're getting content out of this. But anyways, to answer your question in a summarized way, I have been having the time of my life recently. And dude, that stream with Fuego Savvy we did the other day is like definitely, I'd say that's probably like my best stream I ever did. I'd say, I mean, just in general, I would say right now, I'm making the best content that I've ever made. Honestly, I would say, honestly, I am making the best content that I've ever made. If you guys haven't watched it yet, I put out a video and it's such a good video. It's called Why? The Most Important Question. I think that's literally the best video I've ever made so far. And expect more like that. Hopefully, Big Slappy, me and him, we can do some more collabs. I haven't heard from him. I'll probably call him tomorrow, since now I've put it on my mind to talk to him, and I'll ask him about, because I like the guy, and he's a great cinematographer, a great filmmaker. He's an actual like visionary person. And if you watch his channel, if you watch his YouTube channel, the type of shit that he gets up to on his channel, it's just like insane. Like the dude's like a fucking genius, like straight up. So that dude's awesome. And I want to do some more collaborations with him because he's just a great guy. And you know, send me some money for that. Send me some money for that. Send me some money if you want some more high quality content like that. Because all the stuff that I do costs money, you know, all the content that I make costs money to make it, right? More iron. I don't know. I mean, I might have to end the stream early. I probably should. If I was being responsible, I would end the stream early because I'm not. I mean, we're actually like pretty deep into it. This is like the 2-hour mark almost of the stream. But you know, ending it now for not making any money, because that would be like the financially responsible thing to do. I'm trying to find right now. I'm trying to figure out what engages you guys the most. See, I know that political content in general was my highest audience engagement was political content. But I am very black-pilled on politics. I don't see a future in politics. I'm just being honest about that. I don't. And especially Christian nationalism. I don't see it. I don't see the winning path. I don't see the winning path here. So, you know, I'm trying to redirect my focus on my channel to stuff that's not politics, right? but I'm trying to figure out, you know, what can I do that's not political, that's really gonna engage my audience. So I've been trying a lot of different streams, and so I did this stream with Fuego Savvy, and that was probably my highest amount of viewership on a stream, other than my Beardson stream. My Beardson stream about 30, but of course that was due to the fact that I was with Beardson, and Beardson's like a massive e-celeb. And you know, I think at the end of that stream I had 100 like consecutive viewers, 100 200 consecutive viewers for the time that I'm live, which is not that much, but like for my small channel that's a lot. That's like a huge number. That's like booming, blowing up basically for me. So you know, that I'm trying to figure out what engages my audience. And so I'm judging like what engages people based on like what makes money. As far as these streams go, like when people are willing to donate to the stream, I'm assuming that that is like a stream that people are actually enjoying. So, and I guess like if people are like really in the chat talking during the stream too, I'd say that that's also something that is getting a lot of engagement. And so I can tell that people are really engaged by this style of streaming. It's probably because of you have the low attention span, right? You got to watch the Subway Surfers gameplay at the bottom as you listen to till Neil deGrasse Tyson explain some bullshit that you're not going to remember in 5 minutes. You know, so that I can tell you guys are engaged with this because everyone's in the chat, right? But, you know, I have like a financial obligation to make money off of the content. I'm not so pissed off if I'm like putting out like gospel content and I'm not making money. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like if the content that I'm making is like a Christian teaching video or something like Sunday school, I don't care if I make money off of Sunday school. That doesn't bother me, because Sunday school has its own inherent value to it. And the inherent value is getting people saved. If I make a video about faith alone, that has inherent value because it's getting people saved. The Fuego Savvy stream had inherent value. My Bryson Gray video had inherent value. And pretty much all of those videos are like demonetized. So, you know, I don't care about making money on that stuff, because it has inherent value, which is salvation of people that are in need of salvation. But I'm doing a lot of entertainment. Like, you know, I have my Christianity Destroyed Rome video. That's like an entertainment video. Racist DMT demons. My video about my experience with demons. It's entertainment, and this is entertainment too. But like, this isn't like really important, you know. So, you know, I'm basically just thinking about right now, I'm not trying to like, you know, make you guys like feel bad and like guilt trip you into sending me money. I'm just like trying to give you content right now by talking about my personal inner thoughts. So right now I'm just kind of trying to think about what, like, I can't be just sitting here making like these wasting, you know, hours upon hours upon hours editing a video, spending 3 hours doing a stream to make like no money out of it, you know, because right now I don't have a job, and I saved up a lot of money on the job I was just working, but you know, eventually I'll run out of money. And if I'm putting in like a large amount of time into my stuff, and I'm spending money trying to move my grandmom in because she's sick, you know, so I need to figure out how do I make this financially viable. And if it's not financially viable, then I'm gonna stop, you know, making content like this, because I need to focus my free time into making money. I need to focus my time into doing stuff that is profitable. You guys get what I'm saying? I don't know. And so if I'm gonna make videos, I'm just gonna make videos on stuff that is like the basic gospel, getting people saved, evangelism shit, because that is the only type of content that I make where I feel as though, and it's going to be bare bones, because I'm not going to make, you know, my cameraman work for no money, for no money, you know? So I would just, it would just revert back to, what I would be doing before I quit, I guess, but at maybe even lower quality, because I'm not going to spend a bunch of time editing. But I don't know, because this is more, if it's just going to be a hobby for me because I don't make money off of it, then it's just going to be a hobby, you know? I'm not going to sit here and stress about it. But so these are just the things that I'm thinking about as far as the future of my channel. So to get back to it, right now I'm trying to figure out what engages people in my audience, what turns people on, you know? What are you guys like hyped about? What is like, what can I make that will really get you guys like fired up, you know? Apparently Minecraft streams get you guys marginally fired up. I figured out my video, the why video, would get people pretty fired up, because that video, it's like a it's a very high quality cinematic video, but it has the same kind of depth that like my, you know, deep analysis is of, like, you know, things fall apart, or Sunday school even would have, you know. But people were not fired up about that at all. People were like totally like didn't even care about that one. I think you know, it's been out for a few days now. It only has about 100 views here and about 40 views on Rumble. So that tells me that people are a lot more fired up over the stuff that I was doing with like jpeg.png, these like collab videos that are like high energy, goofy, like laughing. Now people tell me, oh, what I really come to the New Esanch channel for is for like your deep, insightful commentary. But that's clearly not what people really come for. Because if people really came for that, they would watch it, right? And I'm not trying to make fun of you guys or make you feel bad. I'm just talking about my plans for a channel. So people really are turned on by that watch my channel is goofy Sam Hyde type of shit. So I'm going to have to figure out goofy Sam Hyde type of shit to do, because that's what gets people turned on. That's what gets people fired up. And I have to kind of move away from the deeper, insightful stuff where like, and I'm not saying that like, you know, you get rid of the deep insights entirely, but more so that I need to figure out how do I repackage my deep, insightful stuff in such a way where it could be like a Sam Hyde, you know, Kickstarter, saving, what was it called? Kickstarter crap. It wasn't Kickstarter crap, but something like that. Kickstarter TV. Yeah, Kickstarter TV with Sam Hyde. How do I make it $1 million extreme but Christian? I guess I have to figure that out, because that's what the people in my audience are really fired up about. They're not really so much fired up by these streams. And obviously the streams are for like the super fans. Obviously, like this stream is for you guys who like really are really into my content, right? It's not for like normies to watch. And it's not for people that aren't like, who are just like marginally into me. It's like for people that are like really big on the New Esanch train, you know? But I don't know, so yeah, basically, that's what I'm thinking about as far as the channel. How do I make Sam Hyde videos, but Christian? And I'm not sure how to do that. Jonathan says in the near future, where is it? In near future, I really want to start a snow and shoveling business. That stuff makes a lot of money, especially if you go to an old folks neighborhood and you're white because old people are racist. You'll make a lot of money. You'll make a ton of money doing that. So, yeah. Just letting you know. I had a job during the summer and spring mowing my grandparents' lawn. No, that's not real employment, man. Come on. That's just nepotism. That's what should be naturally expected of you. You shouldn't have to get paid for that. But no, I mean, like, props to you, man. That's really good to do that. It's really good to look out for the elderly members of your family and to seek wisdom from them and to seek a relationship with them. Because while, you know, the boomers are kind of fucked up, and I don't know if your grandparents are silent generation or if they're boomers or what they are. Maybe they could even be Gen Xers for all I know. But freaking, while they're fucked up, they are the, like, kind of last vestiges that we have to a nation which is Christian. Okay, and so there's a lot of value there. And if you have a relationship with your grandparents, if they're still alive at this point, you really got to pick their mind about things. I'm talking about, like, serious shit, like, actually, like, real stuff. Like, ask them about God. Ask them about how were things done when you were a kid? What were relationships like? What was your childhood like? How did your parents treat you? You know, and things like that. That's so important to do that. If you have access to it. I wish I had access to my grandfather still. Because, you know, I had a good relationship with him. But I never picked his mind on things like that. And I wish I did. Because I'm sure I would have gained a lot out of it. Because he was a pretty smart guy. He was silent generation. So, you know, I wish I would have known him better, but I didn't, unfortunately. I had a 3-hour commute for my first job. First place I ever met someone who legit could not read. Soul-crushing paper plant. Long commutes are inhumane. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. I kind of don't like talking about this subject because, I don't know, I've heard so many boomers say that, you know, like, the younger generation, like Gen Z, that they're, like, lazy and don't want to work. And, despite me having worked, I think, 3 or 4, like, full-time jobs at this point, over the past 4 years, and the fact that I have, like, a business of some sort, and that I'm a talented filmmaker who puts tons and tons of effort into making beautiful art. Despite that, my parents still tell me, they go, "You haven't worked a real job. You don't know what it's like. You haven't worked a real job," even though, like, I worked a real job 3 times over. I was, like, employed. I was running a landscaping. I literally was running. I was the manager of a landscaping business. But, you know, just, like, ignore that. You've never worked a real job in your life. Running a landscaping place on your own at age 19 does not count as a real job. It doesn't count, guys. But so they say that about me. So like I don't like to like talk about like the shitty work environment or whatever, and complain about that shit, and complain about capitalism, because then I'll have, you know, some boomer or Gen Xer say, you're just lazy. The young generation's lazy. Young generation's clearly lost, man. Clearly lost. I don't even know what to say no more. You know? That's what they're gonna say about me. And I don't want to like fall into the stereotype of being like a lazy Gen Zer, you know? And I don't know, maybe I should just stop caring about what other people think about me. You know? I don't know. But yeah, I don't know, man. I hate talking about this stuff a lot. Like, oh, this commute is so hard, man. But then it's like, well, you talk to these Gen Xers and all they ever do is they complain about how shitty their job is. And they're like complaining, oh, my boss, man. Oh, my boss, he's making me work too much hours. He's not paying me enough. Ah, man. My boss, man. You know, but then like, you know, if you complain about something, they get like all bitchy. I don't know, man. I don't want to hate on my parents. My parents are okay people. They're very decent people. But that is something that annoys me about them, is like they say you never worked a real job in your life, and it's like, dude, I've worked four jobs, and I didn't get fired from any of my jobs. I've not once been fired from a workplace. I've left those 3 places when I was a valuable asset to the business, and I left because I had bigger ambitions in my life. So it's not like I'm just like, you know, going nowhere. Oh, you're a nobody. You have no skills, no education, no no employment, no training. It's like, no. But I don't know. I have the innate fear of being judged like that. I've been judged like that my whole life. Like, I'd say probably by my parents I've been judged that way, and by my grandparents, by everyone around me. And then of course you have the media brainwashing, the media, where in the media all the people of your generation, they're constantly portrayed in this terrible negative light. And so you have this innate fear from watching movies that like everyone around you perceives you in the way that like your peers are perceived through the media, because most people are brainwashed by the media, right? So, you know, I've just always had this fear of being perceived as like a loser, or as someone with like no ambition. But it seems like no matter what I do, I still am perceived that way. So, whatever. It is what it is. I don't know. So we're mining. We're mining. I need my oddly satisfying video in the bottom right corner. God will handle all the money problems. I mean, yeah, I'm not struggling for money right now. You know, I was struggling for money, and then right when I was struggling for money, this job falls in my lap, and I made a good amount of money. So I'm not struggling right now. But like, yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, God probably will just handle it all, and like I won't even have to worry about it. Right, so I'm not like, you know, freaking out. I'm not in need of money right now. I'm in need of money in the sense that I would like to say I'm a successful businessman. I've always wanted, and this has been my dream for my lifetime, to be a cinematographer or a director or a producer, making movies of some sort, making films of some sort, or a TV show or something like that, and to be like successful doing that, and make some stuff that's like really deep, really thought-provoking, that affects people, in a deep way and like helps people, you know, because I've been so inspired by beautiful art. I've been inspired by a lot of indie stuff too, and a lot of YouTube stuff. Probably the biggest inspiration for me wanting to do YouTube is actually it was this ARG horror series on YouTube called Marble Hornets. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Marble Hornets. It's kind of like dated now, but it's a great series. I don't know if you've never watched it, I don't know if you'd like it. But I liked it as a kid. And that was probably like my biggest inspiration for doing content was Marble Hornets. I was watching Marble Hornets. I think I was like 9. I was like 9 or 10, and I'm watching the Slender Man series. That's what Marble Hornets is. It's the original Slender Man series, YouTube series. And that was like so good, and it was so mind-blowing to me that people with like no budget were out here making like good art. And it's probably not as good as I remember, because remember I was 9, so my standard for high quality art was a lot lower. But the point is, you know, like that like blew my mind that people were like making stuff like this, you know. And it was scary. It had like a good plot. It had a lot of soul to it. There were characters that had struggles and problems and stuff. And it was interesting. And it was about like people, just people, and how people react. This is how I remember it. Okay, Marble Hornets probably is not like this at all. Okay, I'm probably overselling it so much. Okay, it's just how it was in my head. That it was a series about people, okay, like a misfit band of weirdos who happened to just be in the middle of this horrifying story of this slender man, this tall man with no face called the Operator, who is following them. And it's leading them to, you know, commit suicide. It's leading them to go insane or kill people even. But the Operator doesn't kill anyone, you know. So, you know, it's just, it was a very interesting. And so that inspired me a lot to make stuff like what I make now. Although what I make now is like totally not in any way like like what I make. Well, like that. But you know, I'm just talking about stuff, you know. Let's go down here now, I guess. So we'll get on this low level strip mine here. This is like lava level here. If I wanted to please the masses, I can make more complaint videos. Yeah, Buckwater, I see that you have a YouTube channel, and I found one of your videos to be funny. I forget the name of it now because I don't think you've even uploaded it in a while. I'm not subscribed to you. I should subscribe to you. I promise I'll subscribe to you after this stream. But Buckwater, he has a good YouTube channel. It has some comical videos in it. From what I remember, it's like more of like a commentary. Leafy is here. Turkey Tom kind of video style. And I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, no, I mean, I get it. Like, I'm not trying to appeal to the masses. What I'm doing is very niche. And so it's probably not going to make money. But, you know, like, it's worth the shot to try. You know. Sam in Hyde Wars has many opportunities to present Christian advice, but ends up just being good general advice. I don't know if Sam is a Christian. He always like hints at being a Christian, but he never explicitly says anything about Jesus, so I'm just gonna assume he's not. Because there's no way for me to know, you know? He doesn't have any fruit that would tell me that he is. You know, he hasn't even, like, said he is. So I wouldn't know. Oh, wait, hold on. I can throw this and get the coal. There we go. Coal gangs stay winning. Straight up. Boomers give bad advice because they think simply being older makes them wise. Y'all send more chats. I can't be doing the try hard in the chat. I found one video funny. Awari da. What? Oh, I did find one video to be funny. I don't remember which one it was. Awari da, is that the video? Is that I don't think that's the title of the video. Awari da means it's over. Is the joke that I've only found one video funny and not more? I haven't watched too much of your content, I'll be honest with you, Buckwater. I've been trying to limit all of my social media consumption in general, because I am a person who gets very much trapped in the Zog scroll, which is not good for you. It's not good to be trapped in the Zog scroll. You know, just consuming and consuming and consuming content. So I will go through phases. Like, for most of the day, I will not even have YouTube on my phone. I will just uninstall YouTube. Like, probably like when I go to bed tonight, I will uninstall YouTube from my phone and uninstall Instagram from my phone and uninstall like every social media app I have. And then I will not reinstall it until like I need to use it for some reason. Like, I'm doing a stream and I need to know, or like I've uploaded a video, I need to notify people about it, or like I've literally nothing to do. Like, I have like literally nothing to do, and so I have the free time to just like consume content. And even then, I try to, like, rather than consuming content, I'm trying to like watch like Steve Franson's Locals, or like read the Bible or something. And if I consume content on YouTube, I'm only trying to consume Christian content and high IQ content, which I have found there is an immense lack of meaningful content anymore. In fact, I think the only YouTuber that I can think of doing meaningful content on this platform is literally me. Literally all other content that I've seen on YouTube for the past week and beyond has literally just been goy slop. All the content on YouTube anymore is goy slop. It doesn't even matter if it's Christian content. The Christian content is goy slop, talking about Calvinism or talking about Christian nationalism. Oh, did you hear they legalized abortion in this state? Yeah, it's all goy slop. It's none of it's thoughtful, none of it's meaningful, none of it's life-changing, none of it's about the gospel. And literally the only content that I've seen, okay, there's one other person making meaningful content other than me, and that is Fuego Savvy. Straight up, like, his content doesn't look nice, but he says he's learning to do video editing, so it's gonna look nice soon enough. But the content is so deep. It's so deep, man. It is so real. Like, that content is like the best content. I'm gonna death scroll, says Buckwater. Yeah, get in the chat. I can't just do boring mining. Ask me some questions. Talk about some stuff. What's some stuff that's on your mind, you know? I'm interested to talk more about deeper stuff, more, I guess, you know, what you would want to call philosophical, you know, moral improvement. That's really what I've been focused on my Untitled show streams. Is I've been doing streams about moral improvement, like how do we stop sinning, how do we become better people and stuff like that. I've been talking a little bit about child abuse actually recently, because that's actually a really big part of why people sin. People sin because their parents abused them, typically. And so they learn to sin from their parents. So I don't know. I mean, if we're not gonna, you know, have engagement, I could end the stream. You know, this has been like practically a 3-hour stream here, which has been pretty good content, and I'm pretty sure I could leave this up on YouTube. Thank God I don't have to put it on Rumble. I hate Rumble with a passion. It sucks. It is the worst website. It is the worst website. There's a lack of good content because there's a lack of deep people. Short form video has really diluted YouTube's content. Powers that be trying hard to make it TV too. Yeah, you're right, man, but it just sucks because I feel deprived. I feel mentally deprived. I don't like to read books, okay? I hate reading. I'm a bad reader. I don't even read the Bible. I listen to the Bible, audiobook style, because I hate reading. And it seems like the only high IQ stuff that you can find is books now. All the high IQ content is gone. Nobody makes high IQ content. The highest IQ content that's not in our sphere, it on YouTube anyways, is like Mike Winger or some shit like that, Truth Unites, and it's just soy. It's soy and effeminate, and like that's just like the real truth. Everything sucks, and I'm the only good content creator. Me and Fuego Savvy are literally, like, I'm dead serious. Like, I keep bringing it up, but straight up, the only good content on YouTube anymore is me and Fuego Savvy. There were a lot of good people back during the Yay 24. You had JPEG.png. You had Big Nick. I don't even see them upload anymore. Like, there's no good content. There is and it's pissing me off because literally the burden is on my shoulders to make all the good content now. To make all the good Christian content, Christian nationalist content or whatever. It's all on me. It's all on me to red pill everyone now. You know, and it's like, but then it's like when I try to red pill people, no one watches the fucking video. I red pill people. I go and I red pill people on childhood trauma. I red pill people on LGBTQ. I red pill people on ADHD, autism, all forms of mental illness, anxiety, and depression, all in one video. All in one, like, 10-minute video. Nobody watches the video. Nobody watches the video. Fuck, man. Come on. No, but I'm making the only good. So maybe it's just not good content. Maybe just people are not interested in that. I'm just fighting like a losing battle. Nobody wants to be red pilled. Nobody wants to improve. And I guess, you know, obviously that is true. Nobody does. Because if people want it to be good, if people want it to be moral, well, the world wouldn't be in the state that it is right now. But it's just sad. It's just sad. Because it's like, I think I have the most to say out of anyone. Alright, I'm going to stop mentioning Fuego because I mention him so much, okay? But just remember, everyone who's in my sphere who's a good content creator is included when I say, well, it's all on me, or I'm the only one making good content. People in this sphere that have been on my channel, they're included, okay? I just don't want to keep having to like name drop everyone that I'm friends with, okay? So just, it's included. But when I compare my content to everyone else's that makes Christian content, that makes philosophical content, I hate the word philosophy. I really hate the word philosophy, okay? But Steve Franson has kind of turned me on to using the word philosophy more. And I've been watching his mentor now recently, Stefan Molyneux. I don't really like Stefan, I'm going to be honest. But, you know, when I watch people like that, and if I even like watch Nick, like Nick Fuentes, and you know, people in this sphere that are the people who are talking about Christianity. Truth Unites is someone who talks about Christianity, but you know, everyone who talks about Christianity, the door, Michael Pearl, nobody's doing a good job at it. Everyone sucks. No one has like the clarity that I have on things. And like, I'm sure Steve Franson knows more than me. I'm sure Michael Pearl from The Door knows more than me. But I've just seen in my own life, I've had a lot of people tell me, and just from self-examining, I explain things with so much clarity. I mean, I don't mean like, you know, suck my own dick or whatever, huff my own farts, pat myself on the back too hard. But like, I don't know, there's nobody out here. And listen, if there was someone doing this better than me, I would be happy. I would be so happy that somebody was doing it. But there's nobody out here doing things at the level of quality that I've been doing them. At least this is my personal opinion, and maybe, you know, you guys tell me if I'm being too narcissistic or something. But I don't think there's anybody doing what I'm doing at as high of quality as I'm doing it. You know? And so it's just kind of blackpilling to me. It's just kind of blackpilling, and it sucks, and it feels bad. Because I feel like I deserve recognition or whatever, and I guess I don't deserve recognition, right? And it's wrong to, you know, say stuff like that, I guess. But I do feel that way. I'll be honest with you, you know, I'm in the business of being an honest person now and telling the truth. So I'll be honest with you, you know, I do feel like I deserve, you know, more recognition for the things that I've done. And I guess I'll get that recognition in heaven or whatever by God. But I don't know, it's just kind of upsetting. It's just kind of upsetting that I think anyone who watches me would be honest and say I'm making the best content in this genre of content. I'm making the best content that's ever been made on YouTube, online video, for this genre of content. And I just, it does hurt my feelings. Like, it genuinely does, like, really, really hurt my feelings to know that, like, I get no recognition for that, and I will probably never get recognition for that, you know? But it is what it is. I mean, that's just the nature of what I'm doing. People don't want to be told they're evil. People don't want to be told that they have to make improvement on their life. People want to just jerk they dick. Right? That's just what people want to do. They just want to jerk their dick all day. You know, at least men. I just want to jerk my dick all day. You know, that's the level of thinking that most people have. don't get in the way of them jerking their dick, you know. So I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I just feel it feels bad. And if you've ever been in that position, I don't know how many of you are artists, okay? But if I'm sure there are a lot of you that are artists. The thing that sucks the most in the world, is being a good artist and getting like no recognition for it. And then you see people that are making like literal garbage, like literally garbage, and they get more recognition for you. My dad, he was at one time a popular rock star, and he was pretty popular in this area, but then his band, other than him, they all got like addicted to drugs, to meth, other than him, and so they all quit. Well, they didn't even quit, but they either got fired or like fell out or died from overdosing, right? And so, but he's a great musician. He's like one of the greatest singer-songwriters I think I've ever met or heard of. I genuinely like to listen to my own dad's songs. And like that should be cringe, you know, like, oh, my dad does music, he plays a rock band. Nah, his shit is so good. But like, rather than him being famous, he's like literally like the best singer songwriter ever. Or like Steve Franson, he's a great musician. But instead of him being famous, it's fucking Oliver Anthony who's like fucking writing nursery rhymes. Literal fucking nursery rhymes. Living in a new world with an old soul. The rich man north, the rich man that just want total control. They want to know what you think and know what you do. And they don't think you know, but I know that you do. Cause your money ain't shit. It's tax and no hail because of the rich man north, the rich man. You know, garbage. And he doesn't even like play guitar that well while singing. Man, I mean, listen, but he's famous, you know, so he's famous. So like, I can say like objectively, like this is garbage, but clearly I guess my judgment is just not objective, right? Our own judgment of art is not objective. It's a subjective judgment. And so I can say, oh, well, Oliver Anthony fucking sucks and it's goy slop. But then it's like, well, why does everyone love Oliver Anthony then? I don't know. These are the questions that plague me. I'm like, maybe the problem is that I suck. Maybe the problem is that I'm just a fucking retard. Maybe I'm the one consuming goy slop. Maybe I'm the goy slop consumer and they're the real base judge. But then it's like, okay, well, most people would go to McDonald's. So most people eat the pink slime coming out of the tube at McDonald's, making the McNuggets out of pink slime that comes out of the tube. You know, so I don't know, but it fucks me up. It really does fuck me up. I have to be honest with you. So, I don't know. Even books are flooded with worthless ones. Everyone writes a damn book. Made by Jim Bob has good stream. I like his content a lot. James Tor is good. You're literally better than Franson, says Crunchy B-roll. I look up to you so much. You're my teacher. That's why I rage quit my own art. I mean, I'll be honest. I am deeply inspired by Steve Franson, so I don't want to disparage his work, because Steve Franson has a huge catalog of work, and there's so much stuff that's been deleted. And he had like the best YouTube channel ever. It was the best YouTube channel ever, Steve Franson's channel, and it got deleted because YouTube is evil. Evil. Fucking evil. YouTube is evil. And so his whole catalog of content basically just got removed off the face of the earth. It was like the best videos ever put on YouTube. Removed because, you know, his association with Nick, right? But still, like, so I look up to him, but I have the goal of succeeding all of my heroes. My hero in music, I guess, is my own father, but I want to succeed my father. I want to be better than my father. My hero in politics, I mean, I'm not doing politics anymore, but when I was doing politics, my hero in politics was Nick, you know? I wanted, my goal with the content, and I guess a little bit, I could say my hero was John Doyle too, but I've kind of like, I don't like John Doyle anymore, and I actually, even after like quitting doing politics, I like him even less because it doesn't really seem like he has any Christian convictions. You know, he makes a video, his most recent video, which came out a day late for Halloween, but it's a Halloween video. And the video is called like 5 movies that are implicitly right wing. And it's like, who the fuck cares if something is right wing or left wing? Like, let's talk about God. Okay, let's talk about like morality and like objective right versus objective wrong, not fucking conservative politics, nigga. But no, so like those were like my inspirations in politics, and my goal with my show was to like outdo Nick Fuentes in politics, outdo John Doyle in making political commentary videos. I think I definitely, I believe I outdid John Doyle at least. I don't think I got to Nick's level doing streaming, because Nick is smarter than me. He's significantly smarter than me. And he just knows more. Right, like he just knows more than me. I don't know as much as him, so I could never compete with Nick in that field. But my goal was always to do everything better than my heroes. I think I do philosophy better than well, I want to say that, but Franson also has a much larger catalog than me. So I could say that, but I haven't covered. But I think when I have a larger catalog, like 10 years from now, okay? 10 years from now, I think that, and when I've expanded my catalog of content to cover a wide variety of subjects, God willing that happens, I think that I will be better at philosophy and would be considered better at philosophy from anyone who knows the both of us. I think I would be considered better than Steve Franson at doing that. Because I think, now again, this is all blessing from God, right? It's not my own wisdom bringing this stuff up. But like, this is like all a miracle from God that I'm able to speak so clearly, think so clearly, but like, I think I explain things a lot better than Steve Franson. I think I have a lot more clarity. And also, Steve Franson is not... I'm talking mad shit right now. I need to stop. But, okay, I'll be honest about it. I'm going to talk... I'm trying to give you guys content, so we'll talk about this. Steve Franson is not very big on Christianity. Steve Franson has like yelled at me for talking about Christianity in his public Telegram chat, and he like yelled at me for like doing evangelism, and he said, please don't proselytize in my chat. And I've been reading his books. I've bought his books. I bought most recently it's called Make Self-Knowledge Great Again, which is a good book. It's a really good book. It's a textbook on how to how to understand why you think the way that you do. And it's basically, it's a list of archetypes. So if you guys watch my video why, where I'm talking about like why we do the things that we do, Steve Franson's book is going into detail on archetypes. Like, this is why people might end up being this way. This is why someone might end up being this way, and then explaining the reasons why, and also, but like going through the logical method of getting to that concept. But so in that book, right, like in the book, and I'm sure his opinions have changed a little bit since he wrote the book, but in that book, he says that if self-knowledge was, like, if people practice self-knowledge, if people practice philosophy, then there would be no more religion. That's like the opening paragraph of his book, or like opening like couple pages of his book. He says that if people practice self-knowledge, there would be no more religion. All the world's religions would cease to exist. Right? And so, you know, and I don't know, I know that Steve Franson is a Catholic, right? So I don't know what his thoughts on our religion. But then, you know, I don't really ever hear him talk about Catholicism or about Jesus. He talks about philosophy, but he never ties it back to the Bible, and he never ties it back to like God. And the thing is, the greatest philosophy book ever written is a book in the Bible written by Solomon called the Book of Ecclesiastes, and it is the greatest philosophy book ever written. But Franson, you know, doesn't even seem to like have that. And again, I don't know. I'm just basing this based on what he talks about in my limited exposure to him. But he never talks about Ecclesiastes, which is the greatest philosophy book of all time. So so the point that I'm trying to make here, I'm not trying to hate on Franson because he's one of my heroes and I look up to him. But I have a contention with him, and my contention is that he does not seem to put a large emphasis on Christianity in any of his works. And it bothers me that he doesn't seem to feel like Christianity is important to him. It doesn't seem like that is an important thing in his life. And again, I don't know his personal life. I'm just talking about his content. Okay? I don't see, you know, the fingerprints of like the Bible and biblical thinking in his work. Not to say that he's wrong about anything. I don't think he's really wrong about anything in his work. But I wish he would talk about God more, because ultimately we can talk about moral we can talk about moral philosophy. We can talk about self-improvement. Well, but what is the point of self-improvement? Why focus on self-improvement when, as it says in Ecclesiastes, everything is meaningless and suffering? Everything is suffering and everything is meaningless. Vanity of vanities, says the preacher, son of David, king over Jerusalem. Vanity of vanities, all is vanity and vexation of spirit. There is nothing new under the sun. All that is done under the sun is forgotten. What's the point of moral improvement if there's no God? There's no God, and you're gonna die. You're gonna die. What's the point? Right? These are the questions Steve Franson doesn't answer with his content. And I think that's a big short-sightedness, I think, on his part. And I think that is I think that it's really hindering a lot of people from having a full joy and a full life and getting as much meaning as they could get out of his content. So I don't know, my goal with my content is to right now is to just be Steve Franson but better. You know, my goal with my religious content is to be like Mike Winger but better. You know, my goal is to be, you know, like Sam Hyde but better. You know, that's the goal with all of my content, I guess. But I don't know. So that's enough of me talking about myself, I guess. Religions are to please the God, so how would philosophy replace it, or self-knowledge? I don't know. I'm getting a little tired at this point, so I don't want to keep going into this topic. I'm getting a little sleepy. My mind is a little bit drained now, so I think I'm going to call it quits here. But I'm going to take a cool screenshot, because I think that this is a nice view here, kind of. Let's see. Let's go to photo mode. This mod has a cool thing that's photo mode, where you can, like, take a screenshot. And this is... Oh, yo, that's badass. That's badass right there. Let's see, is this a nice screenshot? How do you guys feel about this? This is okay. How can I make this better? Oh, yo, what if I could see myself through that? Okay, alright. This is gonna be badass. Okay, yup. Yo, look at the bridge there. But anyways, taking a screenshot. Cause that's badass. That's badass. That'll be the thumbnail of the next episode. And I guess I'll take one here too. And where else? I think that's it. But yeah, I'm gonna try to get out of here now. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Sad I didn't get any super chats. But you know, whatever. I don't care. But anyway, so yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream for real. And I hope that you guys got something out of my insane ramblings. And that I'm not just like, you know, talking shit over nothing. Real quick, if you guys haven't checked it out already, again, buy my merch. Also, if you want to watch all of my live streams, it's rumble.com/yourfriendlyhood. Go check out my live stream I did with Fuego Savvy. Also, check out this live stream, We Owe Our Children. This is probably one of my most important live streams that I've done so far. This will really bless you if you watch this, for real. Especially if you're a young man or a young woman. Watch this video. If you're like my age, younger, older, give or take, watch this video. yourfriendlyhood.com/shop. Buy my merch. Alright.